Okay, here we are. The cover's off, and got her pretty well clean. And I'm not gonna really get into. It's just another piece of grease. Get into the meat and potatoes of her, but I did notice a couple things. So when you look down here on this nut, you can see right there that the nut's been welded onto the, or tacked anyways, a couple of spots. There's another Nurgan coming around. So you can see two of the tack welds there onto the shaft. So when I turn this, there's no, although there's backlash, there's no play in that nut or nothing like that. Whereas on this side, I've already tightened this up, but there was some play. So the nut would turn before the gear would turn, and on this side here, there's a washer with the tabs on it, and they'd all but spun off. So I tried to get a full length 1.25" wrench in there, and you can do it, but the one that I had was a Craftsman wrench, and they're seemed to be a bit thicker. And so what was happening was that this upper land on the shaft was picking up, and it was binding. And you can see I've put a couple of marks in it. But what I did manage to find in my tickle trunk of tools is this 1.25" wrench. So I did manage to get that in underneath and on, and then use the pry bar. There it is, it's on. Use the pry bar to tighten it up. And like I say, it did mar the surface a bit, so I'll touch it up with a die grinder here, with a flapper wheel or something like that on there. And then that'll be that, and beyond that I still need to bend those tabs up. So other than that, she seems to be in okay shape, like I say. Yeah, order some spare belts and change the blades. So I will get back to you when I go to do the blade change, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get the top cover back on. So my understanding is we fill this gearbox cavity with the EP0 grease just to the bottom, basically, of this shaft. So, or I think the other things that I've seen online or in the forums is about 1.75". So we'll measure that out in both senses and make sure that we got that in there. There's a port here. This is open between the two cavities, sorry. So it's common grease in between the two. And this is a bearing setup here, so we can get lubrication through there as well, but it's just a little bit trickier. So what we'll do is, this is an interesting way to lock wire something, basically. So at any rate, it does look like somebody's been in here before. This has been welded. These two braces have been welded, and that's not from the get-go factory either, I'm sure. And then there's some marks here on the keyway on the shaft, which looks like it's picked up on the weld marks. So obviously with the welds being in there, that's not from the get-go either, and that's picked up. So you can see those, oops, you can see those marks there in the shaft. Sorry, my cameramanship is not as good as it should be. So yeah, we'll put her back together here, and off we go. Rant, rave, subscribe.